Behind every sitcom's bright laughter lies a story the audience never hears. Today, we uncover the surprising cases of actors who secretly despised the very shows that made them famous. Number 5. Robert Reed, The Brady Bunch. Robert Reed is forever remembered as Mike Brady, America's clean-cut TV dad from The Brady Bunch. But behind the cheerful suburban facade, Reed had a complicated and often painful relationship with the show. A classically trained Shakespearean actor, Reed dreamed of a career filled with dramatic and challenging roles. So when he found himself reading scripts filled with slapstick comedy, simple moral lessons, and child-centered plots, he felt professionally suffocated. He once said that the writing lacked realism, and he frequently wrote long memos to the producers arguing about story logic. The disagreements became so intense that Reed was regularly at odds with show creator Sherwood Schwartz. The two rarely saw eye to eye. Schwartz believed the show was meant to be a lighthearted family sitcom. Reed believed it needed depth and maturity. As a result, many episodes became battlegrounds of creative conflict. Reed refused to film scenes he felt were too silly and argued over seemingly harmless plot lines, including the infamous Hawaiian Tiki Curse storyline, which he felt insulted his training as a serious actor. Ironically, despite his frustrations, Reed cared deeply for the young cast. He often coached them in acting techniques and supported them emotionally. But the tension between his personal desire for artistic credibility and the show's simple comedic style became impossible to ignore. Even though he helped create one of the most iconic families in American TV history, Reed secretly resented how the Brady Bunch overshadowed his dramatic ambitions. Today, his story remains a reminder that success does not always equal fulfillment. Number 4. Ray Romano, Everybody Loves Raymond. When Everybody Loves Raymond premiered in the 1990s, audiences immediately connected with its relatable humor, centered on a sportswriter navigating the quirks of an overbearing family. Ray Romano not only starred in the show but also shaped much of its writing. Yet despite the laughter it generated worldwide, Romano later admitted that he often disliked aspects of working on the series. Part of the stress came from the immense pressure on his shoulders. As the lead actor, co-writer, and real-life inspiration for many storylines, Romano carried the weight of the show's success daily. He said the responsibility made him feel constantly anxious, especially during seasons when ratings were high and expectations grew even higher. Behind the scenes, he was often exhausted, burned out, and emotionally drained. Another reason Romano struggled was how closely the character resembled him. Playing a version of himself, an easily overwhelmed everyman, sometimes blurred the lines between performance and personal identity. Over time, the show's humor, which often relied on depicting him as lazy or childish, affected how he saw himself outside the studio. In interviews, Romano admitted that it wasn't always fun portraying a man whose flaws were exaggerated for comedy. He also found the long shooting hours and repetitive storylines creatively limiting. While he respected his castmates deeply and remains proud of the show's legacy, Romano confessed he was ready for it to end earlier than it did. The experience taught him that enormous success can come with equally enormous emotional strain. Even while the world was laughing, Romano was privately wrestling with a complicated relationship with his own comedic creation. Number 3. Julie Bowen, Modern Family. Julie Bowen, who played the neurotic and endlessly busy Claire Dunphy on Modern Family, helped bring the show to the top of American television. Her character became beloved for her quick wit, frantic energy, and exasperated motherly charm. But Bowen later admitted that despite the show's acclaim, awards, and cultural impact, she often found herself emotionally detached from the role as the seasons wore on. Bowen's frustration didn't stem from dislike of the cast or storylines; she respected both. Instead, her exhaustion came from the show's lengthy production schedule and the repetitiveness that comes with portraying the same character for over a decade. She spoke candidly about feeling creatively stuck, explaining that there were only so many ways to play a suburban mom in increasingly similar situations. The monotony slowly drained her enthusiasm. Additionally, Bowen struggled with work-life balance. Filming a major network sitcom while raising children made her feel stretched thin. She would describe arriving on set exhausted, performing through long hours, then going home to another full-time job, motherhood. While fans viewed Claire as one of her most iconic characters, Bowen privately felt the role demanded more of her than she was able to give emotionally. By the time Modern Family approached its 11th and final season, Bowen said she was ready to move on creatively. The show's success was something she appreciated, but the fatigue of sustaining it for so long changed her relationship with the work. Her story illustrates that career highs can still come with personal sacrifices and silent burnout. Number 2. Angus T. Jones, 2.5 Men. Angus T. Jones entered 2.5 Men as a child and left it as one of the most controversial examples of an actor rejecting their own show. As Jake Harper, Jones became one of the highest-paid child actors in television history. The sitcom made him incredibly wealthy and globally recognizable. Yet behind that success grew a deep moral conflict. In his teenage years, Jones underwent a religious transformation and began questioning the show's humor, which often relied on adult situations, innuendos, and sexual themes. By 19, he publicly denounced 2.5 Men, calling it filth and urging viewers to stop watching. His statements shocked the entertainment industry and sparked heated conversations about child actors, morality, and Hollywood culture. After the video went viral, Jones began distancing himself from the production. Though he later apologized for the harsh tone of his comments, he stood by his belief that the show no longer aligned with his values. Ultimately, he stepped away from acting almost entirely, choosing to live a quieter life focused on personal growth rather than fame. Jones's experience is one of the most dramatic examples of an actor rejecting the very show that made them rich and famous. It showed that success, especially when achieved at a young age, can create internal conflicts that play out on a public stage. Number 1. Chevy Chase, Community. At the top of the list sits one of TV's most explosive behind-the-scenes stories, Chevy Chase in Community. When the series launched, Chase was the biggest name in the cast, a comedy legend from Saturday Night Live and beloved films. Fans initially loved seeing him return to a regular TV role. But this comeback quickly turned into a notoriously toxic experience. Chase struggled with the show's sharp, self-referential humor. He often said he didn't understand the jokes or the writing style, describing it as overly sarcastic and too dependent on meta-humor. His character, Pierce Hawthorne, was intentionally written as an older, politically incorrect figure meant for comedic conflict. But Chase believed the role made him appear foolish rather than funny. Behind the scenes, tensions escalated. Chase and creator Dan Harmon clashed repeatedly over everything from scripts to character direction. Their arguments spilled into the public when Harmon mocked Chase at a cast event, prompting Chase to leave a furious voicemail that later leaked online. The environment became so hostile that Chase eventually exited the show before its final season. While Community has since become a cult classic, Chase's experience remains a cautionary tale of what happens when an actor and a production simply don't understand each other. The role revived his visibility but cost him peace, reputation, and relationships with colleagues. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and kindly subscribe for more videos like this.